Hi friend, how are you on this June 28th? And when you look at your calendar, what does it say? June brides. Who's a June bride? I'm gonna raise both hands on that one. I'm a June bride. And today is my wedding anniversary. Not just mine, but mine and Greg's wedding anniversary. So we have been married, how long, honey? That's 40 years. So it's been a nice, long time that I've known Greg. So Greg's gonna come say hi. He'll say, hi. there's the guy behind the camera, the guy doing all the work for me right now. So I have a wedding picture I wanted to show you. Then I'll tell you the challenge part. So this is 40 years ago. Greg and I, we were just babies when we got married. So, and I actually made my wedding dress. It was very simple, but I did make it. And I wore a hat. I don't know why, but that happened to be what I did in 1980. So there you go. And if you are a June bride, I would love to hear, hear from you. Wave, say hi, say you're a June bride. So today for our challenge is I would love to see or hear about your wedding quilts. You know, whether you've made a wedding quilt for yourself, whether you've made a wedding quilt for somebody else, we're part maybe of a wedding quilt project, you know, because that's really a lot of fun. One year, my friend Brenda and I, when we worked together in the offices, one of our co-workers, Steve, was getting married, and so we organized to make a wedding quilt for Steve. We did a black and white log cabin, red, black and white log cabin, and it was just gorgeous. We made it huge, big, king size, and the thing was, it's so big that neither Brenda or I wanted to quilt it. So what we did is we sent it out to be long-armed, and at that time, which was, it was long. There weren't really long armors. It was very hard to find anybody to do that. So we sent it to Texas and had it long armed in just a really basic pattern. It turned out gorgeous. So that was one of the wedding quilts I made. So what I want to do is talk about the quilt that's up on the wall, because this one is from the book Christmas Figs, and I'll show you the book then. But Greg's going to go ahead and pan up there. Maybe you can even like scoot in a little bit and just show the top row and then scroll down. So this book, this quilt is from the book called Christmas Figs, and it's by my friend Joanna Figueroa, which is where the word fig comes from. And when I show you the book, I'll explain a bit more. But what I did is a book in red and green and white for Christmas. But I also ran the sew along, was it last year or the year before? And I did it in this blue and white palette. And for me, this blue and white palette looks like a wedding quilt. So there's, it's big. You could actually make it even bigger by putting borders on it. So you can see most of the blocks there. It is a fabulous quilt, and I don't know, tell me if you think that looks like a wedding quilt in the blue and the white with all those beautiful shades. So Greg, you can scroll back up to me now. Let's so when I was making that one in the blue and white, because it also made the red, the Christmas version, which is what the book shows, when I was doing this one, I just kept thinking, this just feels like a wedding quilt. And so I have nieces and nephews, and it's very possible that someday that might go to one of them, or who knows. I just love it so much. Sometimes I think maybe I'll just keep it myself. Maybe it should be my own. What do you think? Should it be Greg's and my 40th wedding anniversary quilt? Should I get it quilted? Should I send it to Cindy and Dennis and have them do something magical on it, something really pretty for a wedding quilt? Okay, let me show you the book. So Greg will come down here and help with that process. He's going to open the pages and show them to us. Okay, so the book is a sampler, and there is a page on my I Love to Make Quilts where you can see each of the days as we went through and did this as a sew along. So here he's just going to flip a couple pages and just show you. And there's beautiful photography. Joanna's fabric. We used Joanna's fabric for the red and green one. So it is really gorgeous. The instructions are wonderful. They're all done by the Fat Quarter Shop. This book is published by them. So what is really neat is in the back of the quilt now, she took many of the blocks and made additional projects. Like here are the houses made as a big pillow. So Greg's going to flip a few of these. There's another pillow made with one of the other blocks to just give you ideas of how you could use these. Let's see, is there a, that's the 9 patches all done. Here we go. There. I love this Carolina Lily. This has to be one of my favorite blocks, and I think that it's just darling as a small wall hanging to accent with. I'll show 1 or 2 more out of there. Keep going. There's really pretty photography in here too. Lots of directions. There's flying geese. So if you love flying geese, that's a really cool lap quilt made out of them. And these peppermints actually are super fun to make. They have kind of a sew and flip corners on them, and so they're really easy and forgiving. I just love the whole quilt made with the peppermints. Is there one more after that? Let's just see. I can't remember. Oh, and there's the house pillow. So you saw a picture of that earlier with the little houses. Okay, so just do the cover, show them the cover again. So the link, there's a link down below where you can get the Christmas figs, and I'll also link down below to, you can pull that up a minute. So I'll also link, the link down below is not only to the book, but I'll link you to the sew along page, where if you actually want to make the blocks, and if you want to make the quilt and you want to go check out my tips that I did for each block, that is in the table on the sew along page for the Christmas figs. It was a very fun project. There's they're not hard blocks, but some of the blocks have a bit more piecing to them. And some of them don't, but they're just fabulous. I think that, Greg, can you scroll up, just scroll the camera up just a tiny bit? Okay, perfect. See the lily there, and then right next to it. Oops, my hand's not going. But that little tiny 9 patches, I think, yeah, there, stop. Yeah, I think that one would be an absolutely gorgeous scrappy quilt. You could do those tiny little 9 patches and then alternate with some, even scrappy backgrounds. I think that block is so fabulous. Okay, let's scroll on out. So we're coming towards the end of June, and everybody starts to change out their decorations. Usually I would. That's not going to happen this summer, but I would go to my sort of red, white, and blue, my patriotic things. And recently I had gotten in a cross stitch that I want to show you, which is patriotic. And I had planned to make it, but that's not going to happen. But I will hold it, and I will show it to you, because maybe you want to make it. Here we go. So this is a super cute little one. So you know me, I'm like a baby cross stitcher, so everything I do has to be sort of more compact. I can't do anything too complex because I don't finish it. So I thought this was a perfect little size, and it would make like a cute little block, like a quilt block, or put it like next to a mug rug. So this is called Happy Independence Day, Celebrate Freedom. And I'll link you below to that one. It looks like it's something you could definitely sew up, stitch up. Okay, Greg, I think you could definitely stitch that up in time to use for your July decorating. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to answer one question. I'm going to gather some more questions so that over the summer here, I think the Q&As will be kind of fun to do during each one of these videos. I'll try to pop in one question. So let me do one question here from Laura. And Laura asks, what is my favorite part of the quilting process? So that's very interesting, because I think, I think like a lot of quilters, I'm like a lot of quilters. I'm like a lot of you. I like most of the parts. There are, very little that I don't like. So finding a favorite, I think actually, starting something. Who has that one? Starting something is my favorite part of quilting. I love to start new things. But I also like to finish them. So, I think that is really probably key to keeping me interested. I get very excited. I see something new and I get so excited. And then my favorite part next to starting it is deciding what fabric to use, because that is what fuels everything I do, is the fabric itself. I mean, I love fabric. I love the patterns. I'd like to own all the fabric in the world, you know. I mean, that'd be awesome. You know, you could just have everything. But it's like just seeing the new stuff, going and looking at the pretty pictures that are out there, that the designer puts together, or seeing projects made up in new fabric. So that is, so Laura, thank you for that question. My favorite part is starting and deciding what fabric to use. So what is yours? I'd love to know. Tell me down in the comments. And also be sure to come over to Facebook. Visit me at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. That's where most of the community conversation is. All the links for everything are below, including my store, which helps support our small family business, so you can shop with the vendors that I work with. Okay, my friend. Happy anniversary to all the June brides. And if you know somebody getting married in June, mwah, that's an awesome month to get married. I love you, and I will see you online. Mwah.